What's up guys, Syiler here with WoD.stratics and we are back on the Warlords of Draenor Alpha taking a look at the level 100 Retribution Paladin talents. So the first one up is Empowered Seals. Your seals also cause your judgment to empower you with an additional beneficial effect which persists through changing seals. First up, Judgment of Justice gives you 20% movement speed for 20 seconds. Insight heals you for 3% of your maximum health every 2 seconds for 20 seconds. Judgment of Righteousness gives you 30% attack speed for 20 seconds, and Judgment of Truth gives you 15% attack power for 20 seconds. And the key part there was persists through changing seals. So, unfortunately, Seal of Truth doesn't work right now on the alpha. I don't know why, but it doesn't give me the seal buff, and when I use the seal, it doesn't give me the Empowered Seals buff either. So, unfortunately, we can't really test that through Retribution right now, as it just isn't a functioning seal. But we can test the other three perfectly fine. So we're going to try Seal of Righteousness, and when we pop Judgment, that is going to give us, what was it, 30% attack speed for 20 seconds. Now the awesome part about this is when I switch to another seal and press Judgment, the first buff's still there. So right now I have 20% movement speed and 30% attack speed. So that basically means Rep Paladin is possibly, if they keep this in, going to go back to seal twisting, which is something a lot of people wanted back from TBC. It was something that you had to do to be an effective Rep Paladin. You had to be able to seal twist. So that is what we're going to be doing. We're not going to use all 4 seals, but we're probably going to be using Righteousness just to get the attack speed bonus, and then stick in Truth most of the time for the attack power boost and just the damage from Seal of Truth. And that is awesome, and then it gives you a bit more utility, bit of movement. You switch to Righteousness, you use Judgment, and you get the Righteousness increase. Take some damage, or it's a large healing sort of fight, or even soloing content. Switch on Insight, get yourself the healing per second buff, and carry on. You'll switch back to Truth and carry on doing damage. So that is awesome. I absolutely love the concept of going back to seal twisting. It might be a bit of a pain in the ass, but now we don't have to deal with Inquisition that is gone for Rep Paladin. It gives a little bit more to the rotation, and it's going to be interesting to see whether that's the best talent to go for in terms of single target, if you can maximize the buffs. And hopefully it will. It looks to be at the moment anyway. So that is Empowered Seals, and I am hyped for that one. The next talent up is Seraphim, I think that's how it's pronounced. Costs 5 holy power on a 30-second cooldown. The light temporarily magnifies your power, increasing your haste, critical strike, mastery, multi-strike, versatility, and bonus armor from gear by 30% for 10 seconds. So it doesn't affect your actual percentage. If you've got 16% haste, you're not going to get an additional 30% of that. It's just what's on your gear. So if you have 100 haste on gear, you'll now have 130 haste from that piece of gear. So it seems cool, and it will give you a nice bit of chunk of damage, but it only has an uptime of 33% essentially. It costs 5 holy power, which is a lot to dump into it, and I don't feel the bonuses are worthwhile enough, because we're not always, the crit and things like that are useful, but obviously there's going to be a couple of stats that are more useful. If it gives strength, I could see it being a much more valuable talent for Ret, but in its current state, I don't see this being the one that we use. But I could be wrong. This is just judging off my first impressions, and looking at it in the current gear, it seems to be the lower of the 3. So we'll see what happens. As I said, I could be wrong. The final talent is Final Verdict, and this replaces Templar's Verdict. It costs 3 holy power, empowers your weapon with holy energy, and performs a devastating strike, dealing 280% weapon damage as holy. Now, we no longer have Inquisition, so we're not getting the modifier from Inquisition, but we still do get a bit more holy damage than we would normally. So using that is obviously going to be better than Templar's Verdict, but it's just how much better. So as you see, I'm doing normal Templar's Verdicts right now, and they're hitting for about 200k non-crits. So we're getting about 200k damage from just a standard Templar's Verdict. And then we're going to switch into the Final Verdict, just so you can see the difference between a standard Templar's Verdict, we're getting about 200k, to how much we get more from the Final Verdict. So we're going to pop on Final Verdict now, and we're going to see how much damage we get from the talent, basically. So remember this, just straight up replaces Templar's Verdict. Templar's Verdict will be gone with this talent, and instead we'll have, it's still in the spellbook, but you know, you wouldn't want to use that anyway. So if we do a Final Verdict now, we're going to get, as soon as we get enough Holy Power. So that hit for, well, that crit, that was a big crit. That was a 658k crit. That's pretty big, but that was a crit. So let's do one more and see how much it hits for without being a crit. So we're going to get Final Verdict hit for 327k. So it's doing 130k-ish more than the Spock Standard Templar's Verdict. So it is hitting a lot harder. Whether that's going to be enough to beat Empowered Seals, that's going to be down to the theory crafters and stuff, but it is going to be pretty close between Empowered Seals and Final Verdict in my opinion. But Final Verdict will probably scale better with things like, you know, Holy Avenger and things like that. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. But those talents seem pretty fun, especially the Empowered Seals. I am really excited for that, and I hope it does end up being one of the better talents if you can maximize the buffs. So yeah, that was a look at the Retribution level 100 talents. Look out for more classes and specs coming very soon on StratixWoW. Thanks for watching guys, don't forget to thumbs, fave and subscribe. See ya!